Go ahead. Anybody else?
Todd, if you can just talk about running the ball and just the way you guys established the running game from the start.
It's something obviously we've emphasized all year the last couple of weeks against two good defenses. Louisville was holding people to about 115, and these guys were about 114. Really proud of the backs, the way they ran the ball, and obviously the line, for the most part was really consistent. Even with the sub in there for Popek, there was pretty good continuity. Had a couple of plays we'd like to have back, obviously, but overall that set the tone and allowed us to control the ball and get some extended drives.
Todd, obviously 36 points is usually enough to win, but you did have to settle for 5 field goals. Is that what you take from this?
Yeah. The turnover in the third quarter obviously is a negative, and then obviously a couple of those drives. It's something if somebody stops you. We had a couple of those drives, that we probably had a mistake, a mental or something like that you don't want to stop yourself. There's good defensive plays that you give people credit for, but it's a good defense. They scrap. We knew it was going to be a tough competitive game, but we'd like to certainly punch in some more touchdowns, obviously, in those early red zone opportunities.
Todd, that last drive you had on offense, you're specifically trying to grind out the clock there, I would think.
Yeah, you want to try to get points on the board, go up 2 scores, obviously, and give them the ball back with as little time as possible and no timeouts. If you can punch that in and score, then the game's probably sealed. A touchdown, the field goal, makes it a touchdown game, obviously. But you certainly want to eat up the clock and make them go without a timeout at that point.
You had over 270 yards rushing in the first half. What are you guys feeling at halftime?
Well, I think we thought we did some good things. We were a little inconsistent in some of the third down passing. We talked about that. Some things with protection and what can give us some consistency there. But the biggest thing, we knew that they're going to come out with a lot of intensity. We had to match, that they were going to come back fired up because it was 20-3 or what it was. So that was my biggest thought, is just to make sure we kept on playing with the same physical style and the same aggressiveness between our backs and obviously our line in the run game.
If they scored 3 touchdowns in 9 minutes in the third quarter, were you thinking your offense had to?
Yeah, it puts the onus back on you to take the momentum of the game back. So we had a couple of those drives there after that series of plays that we got some momentum back, kicked a field goal, scored a touchdown, that kind of put the momentum back in our favor, because games swing back and forth. There's always momentum shifts in the games, and that's coming. Now you got to kind of hold back the tide, so to speak. And I thought, as bad as it was with the block punt and the turnover, that the kids reestablished themselves and put 2 scores up there and gave us a chance to get our feet back on the ground.
How do you guys talk about winning as a team, losing as a team? How hard is it to keep your offensive players from being frustrated when the games are ending like this?
You know what? It's easy to wonder that, but in that locker room, and that's all we talk about, what we can do better. The turnover, the red zone, like you said, put more points on the board, make it so that it doesn't matter. That's the only way I know how to look at it. In this business, you're in it long enough, you're going to have your ups and downs, and you always have to look at yourself first before you look anywhere else.
Can the kids have the same perspective on it?
Oh, I think that's an individual question for the kids. I think we preach it. I think if the program, preaches it, and I think they've done a great job with it to date. So I have no reason to think that they won't do that going forward.
I know you can't speak for the kids, but what's the attitude like?
Hurt. Obviously we've been through some tough losses, but that was about as hard as it's been. Those kids are heartbroken right now, and just got to keep them together, and keep moving forward. Good. Thanks
very much.